Good afternoon. This is Local Lead Driver Module 2. We're going to talk about implementation here. This is probably the most critical element of the whole course, and it's very important that you pay attention and that you take away the key points here. So let's get started. This is where all the talk that we've done so far about the strategy involved with the course meets action or implementation, right? This is the rubber meeting the road. This is where if you're not outsourcing, you're going to roll up your sleeves and get the work done yourself. It's not very hard, but like anything else, there's some things that you can do to make your results better and some things that can harm your results. And we'll talk about all that here. So let's see what we have today. We're going to get into creating accounts, which is extremely simple. Selecting and purchasing a call tracking system. Now that assumes you don't already have one. We'll talk about creating ads. Then we'll talk about posting ads, a combination of graphical, text, or even hybrid ads. We'll look at gauging results, reporting, and billing. These will be the key areas that we talk about. I've got some sample ads and stuff in here as well for you. So let's see what we have. First is account creation. Now, we're going to use 2 of 3 primary directory sites to drive all of our phone calls. If you remember, I said no SEO, no video, no social media, no reputation. This is strictly going to leverage the traffic that exists on these other sites. So if you're in the US, and honestly, if you're anywhere in the world other than Canada, I've seen decent results with Craigslist and Backpage. And you'll see some of the results and testimonials and stuff, so you can kind of get a feel for that. Now, if you're in Canada, we've learned the hard way that you really want to look at Kijiji and not spend all of your time on sites like Craigslist or Backpage. Kijiji will be your mainstay in Canada. Okay, let's get started. Now, the important part about account creation is that you're going to phone verify the account. It does allow you to create accounts and not phone verify them. And depending on the service, there are options to not even having an account. Like you could post just as a random user. You don't want to do any of that. You absolutely want to create a real account that's tied to a real phone number in your market. This is critical because it'll allow your ads to you'll be able to manage them inside the back-end interface, and the ads will stay live and have a much less likelihood of being flagged or called out for spam. Most of these services use a user policing model, so we want to make sure that we don't run astray of their hypersensitive user base. Because what we're trying to do, if you remember, is take our client and put ads that are relevant to the services our clients do in front of this traffic and let the traffic and the well-composed ad, right? Let that generate a phone call. So, with Craigslist, Backpage, and Kijiji, I've taken a few seconds to put the links to where you can sign up here. Now, I'm not going to walk through and tell you how to write your first name or your last name or your email address. I have little doubt you can do that and that you can receive the email and confirm it. That's what they're going to ask you to do. So, make sure you go to each of these or whatever are relevant in your market. So if you're in the US, we'll say, I want you to set up an account on Craigslist and Backpage. Fair enough? Let's move on. Now, step 2, we're getting into the tracking of the results. And to track, you need a call tracking system. Now, a lot of people say, hey, Brian, can I just use Twilio? You could. Now, most of you would like some kind of easy to use and inexpensive user interface with some bells and whistles that run on top of Twilio. In that case, the one product we decided to call out is a product called Analytic Call Tracking. It's from a guy named Joe Troyer and Ben Pate. They go under the company name of Web1, and they're located in Florida. Now, typically it's $200 for this software product. We've got a discount link for you. You can try it for $1. If you want to keep it after a week, it's $96. So it's a total of $97. Here is the link, and this is how you can sign up and get this product. Now, we'll tell you more about it in just a second, but I'm going to leave this up here. I want to tell you this is a one-time fee. They offer a monthly. For any of you just getting started, I think the one-time fee is plenty for you. You don't need some of the feature set in the monthly at this time. Now, that may change down the road as you add clients. So the takeaway is we need a call tracking system. We use and recommend analytic call tracking. Now, some of our examples use a smattering of other services. Why? Because we've got a few of them, and some of them we've had longer than others. Some of them are services our clients give us. So just know that. But if I had to get one for myself, analytic call tracking is going to be the one you want. And let me tell you about it. It's $1 a tracking number. Makes it really inexpensive to grab numbers because I want you to have a different number for each, not only each client, but a different number for each source. So you could have a graphical ad phone number, you could have a text ad phone number, and you could even have a hybrid ad phone number if you wanted. And then you could have the same thing on 2 different directory sites. All that per client. Not very much, it's $5-6, but if somebody was charging you $5 or $10 a number, it would get kind of expensive. Now that's a monthly fee. That's a fee per month. Now the per minute charge, they have a slight override on top of Twilio. It's only 2 cents, so it's very, very inexpensive. I've talked to the team at Web1. They work 100% in US, Canada, the United Kingdom, France, Ireland, Poland, Austria, and Australia, and Denmark. Now, the reality is their system rides on top of Twilio, so really it's going to work anywhere that Twilio works. You're going to want to test it before you get serious, but I recommend it, and if it doesn't work, they would, of course, refund your money if you're outside of these markets. Now, the features that I find most beneficial in ACT, or analytic call tracking, are the round robin feature, which allows you to send one call to multiple businesses. So if you're generating calls using our system for AC companies, here's what happens. Contractors in some cases are busy and they don't answer their phone. Rather than lose the lead that you're going to get $25 for, I want you to send that to up to 2 or 3 companies that you line up. So make sure that lead goes to a live person, and that's the round robin feature. Second, the whisper call. So every time the call comes in, if it's going to ABC contractor, it's going to say, this call from Joe Smith, this call from Media Mash, right? It reinforces your brand and the value you add to their business every single call. Recordings. As you look at programs, many of them offer recordings, not all of them, but many. It's important. Make sure they have it, and if they don't, immediately rule that package out. And then reporting. Obviously, you need reporting because this is how you keep a client. Make sure they have at least simplistic reporting. Obviously, the ability to slice and dice by different features is useful. So these are the key features that we like about analytic call tracking. They've got gobs more features, but it's not relevant to what we're doing right now. This is what you need to know, and this is why it matters. Now, I borrowed a graphic from them, with permission even this time. So the whole concept behind call tracking is that your customer will be a local business. Let's say he's a contractor or a lawyer or something. His end client, in this case, is the customer in that cartoon. That customer is going to call off your ad. They're going to hit a unique tracking number that you use through the tracking system. In this case, it's ACT. And that call is going to be routed through a data center that's going to, encapsulate the call. It's going to record it. It's going to do all these different things. And then it'll be redirected to your client, the contractor, the lawyer, whoever it may be, right? You're then going to be able to see reports and recordings of calls. So in our case, we're going to understand what ads are pulling, what ads aren't, and we'll stop the ones that aren't, right? We'll refocus on similar ads that are converting, and we're going to be able to have reports and even recordings that we're going to use to validate the ROI of what we're doing to the client. Very, very important. You have to have a call tracking system. You don't have to have the one I recommend. You can get any one you want. If you already have one, that's probably fine. Make sure it has the features we talked about. Okay? Some other ones in the interest of being friendly to everybody. CallFire is a popular one. They have a free version, but what happens in their free version is they have expensive cost per message for each number and for each keyword you use. And then they offer paid versions that get pretty good, between $100 and $2,000 a month. It's expensive. Good product, but expensive. CallRail is another one. $30, $60, and $90 a month. You can check it out at callrail.com. Even at $90, their per minute costs are very high, but it is a slick interface and easy to use tool. Another product from the information marketing space is Call Tracker Jack. This is a single pay product. It has reasonable message and number costs. Not bad at all. It's another alternative to look at. Okay, step 3. You've got a call tracking software. You've set up your accounts. You're ready to rock, right? We're going to create ads. Now, there's 3 types of ads you're going to create. Graphical, hybrid of graphical and text. Now, the graphical ads are obviously the most attractive. They look cool. But I will tell you that the conversion of those ads depend completely on how slick the graphic it is, the subject line, and other things. So the graphical ads, while they look good, don't always convert the way you want them to. Remember, the typical buyer on a directory site such as Craigslist or Backpage is credit or income challenged. They're looking for cheap is what I'm trying to say, right? So a hybrid graphical text, I'll tell you what's cool about it. You can have the keyword-rich content, just like with SEO, right? A keyword-rich ad, but you can jazz it up a little bit and get some pizzazz with a simple graphic. And then, honestly, I have a lot of luck with text ads. You guys are like, yeah, I know you do. Your past presentations are horrible. And you're probably right to an extent. But they're ugly. But these things convert because, remember, people want to buy from somebody they think are going to be inexpensive in this market. So you don't want to look like you're $1 million. You want to look nice and professional, but you don't want to look expensive. And text ads typically don't look expensive. Okay? Let's move on. I have a feeling that no matter what I say here, you won't listen, but I'm going to say it anyway. Split testing your ads. You see the green apple versus the red apple, right? So depending on the market or niche you're working, like I live in Atlanta, and let's say I'm working with AC contractors. I already know, but one type of ad will outperform the others. So all I want you to do is try a graphical ad or even 2 different graphical ads with 1 or 2 different hybrid ads or 1 or 2 different text ads. You're going to use different tracking numbers for each, and you're going to do this. In our case, we're in the US, we're talking about Craigslist and Backpage. You're going to do this across 2 directory services. In some markets, you may use all 3. The whole point, we are going to figure out exactly what ad in that niche pulls better. And then we're just going to run the heck out of that ad. Mindless. And since it's all free to do and takes minutes, very easy to do. We don't need any fancy software. You're just going to base it on the number of calls generated in your tracking software for each ad. Since each ad has its own number, you can quickly and easily use ACT to find out which one is pulling the best for you. Now, some success points with your ads. They have to be engaging, especially in the subject line. This will be the key on whether anybody opens it in the first place. It's just like with email marketing. So an engaging subject line, very, very important. Keyword-rich ad, also important. Think SEO. You want to have the words on the page that a person's looking for. Let me give you some hints. Financing, no credit check, everyone approved, easy, budget, cheap, things like that. Those work. These are psychological phrases that help you drive phone calls. We know the buyers are looking for somebody that's going to be reasonably priced, that's going to be fast, that's not going to break the bank. Keep that in mind when you create your ads. The other thing is time of day. Very critical. I like to post twice, usually around 10 a.m. local time and again around 4 p.m. You also want to comply with the TOS, or terms of service. So in most cases, that means no automated spamming of ads, no posting it in multiple categories, etc. You want to avoid being offensive in any way, and the better you can do avoiding spam content, the more likely your ad will stick. Now, last but by no means least is consistency. What I want you to do is do it every single day for that business. Let's say you're doing 2 ads a day. It will take you less than probably 5 minutes once you get going, but let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day for fulfillment. That's all it takes to do this. Very easy, but it's like working out or anything else. The more often you do it, you're building up a velocity of ads, a quantity in the appropriate directory site. You're keeping your ads there at the right times of day, and you're maintaining your position amongst any other possible competitors. Very important you do these things. Let's go on. Now, with the subject line in particular, I want you to be very, very clear on one point. Do not use all capital letters. Just like with email, all caps is shouting, it's annoying, and it's been statistically proven on these sites that all cap ads are opened way, way less. Instead, I want you to focus on short, information-rich headlines. Example here: no credit check AC installation. No credit check, that's a no-brainer, right? It appears to that psychological trigger. An AC installation says exactly what the customer that we want is looking for. Now here's some other ones. I really like this one for a handyman that we work with. Gets a lot of calls. This is a good one. I repair what your husband fixed. Because many callers are female, and they probably get a chuckle out of that, whether their husband's guilty or not. No credit check or financing with any ad will increase your views and your phone calls on bullet point 2 there. Another one, fair price. Everybody wants a fair deal. So fair price plumbing, or inexpensive or affordable. So fair price plumbing works. No fault divorce. Now, no fault's a phrase for people in the divorce, unfortunately, in the divorce business. It's when both sides are not contesting. And in this case, $3.99 is a price. You're trying to lure them in that case with the absolute lowest price your client, in this case a lawyer, could work with. Now you're going to have some lingo in the ad that'll be a caveat, but Chapter 7 BK, same thing, $4.50 and up. You're looking for a low price. The people that are shopping for a bankrupt are obviously broke, and they're shopping on price. So this is one way to do your subject line. Now, painting for less money. We use that one with one of our painters. Everybody loves spending less. Same thing. We're honing in on psychological triggers in the subject line to get people to open your ad. All right? Now, another one is you got to post in the proper category. Now, in the case of contractors or lawyers, almost always, for any client we're going to work with, it's almost always going to be services. So you're going to find that the skilled trade section is one you're going to use a lot. In the legal section, I use both of those all day long. Then for those of you in our automotive team or are interested in posting for car dealers, automotive goes in the automotive section. Craigslist, I will tell you, as of December 3rd, 2013, just started using $5 a post if it's for a dealer. So you may find that the number of posts in that section have gone down, but they're now charging per post. So that makes Backpage much more attractive moving forward. Some best practices that I've found. Now, I do outsource, and we share that in the outsourcing module, exactly where to go. There's nothing kept from you, and the same price we pay. But if you're going to do it yourself, which you absolutely can, there's no reason to outsource at first. And eventually you're going to have 2 or 3 clients, and you need to focus on retention and client generation rather than doing the work. But right out of the gate, do it yourself. For images, I want you to use their image uploader tool. I don't want you to use Flickr and external image like photo sharing sites. Reason why is sometimes some of the admins and the geeks that hang out on these sites, they'll flag your post if they see that. Quality is worse with the Craigslist uploader tool, but honestly, it's actually a good thing. You want to look professional, but you still want to appear cheap for your client. You want to seem inexpensive. And a half, kind of a shady, not the perfect image sometimes conveys, all right, cheap. Now, image size. So with Craigslist and Backpage, it's 850 pixels wide. So when you do a 5 meg image and you upload it, it is 2,500 plus pixels wide. Guess what? Now the customer has to scroll, and they're going to quickly bounce off your ad. If you do include a photo, you should always map to something you said in your text in the ad itself. Create trust. If you have a picture of a truck with their name and their phone number or the logo on it, for a service company, do that. Or the law firm office. Do things that create trust. Here's what happens. There are many shady sellers, if you will, on these directory sites. We want to create two things: trust and the illusion of being inexpensive, whether that's true or not. So next is subject lines. No, it's not. Let me skip that. I just talked about it. Next is the actual ads. I'm going to show you some example ads. I don't know how I did that slide twice, guys. But in this case, the actual ads, here's some ads. This is roofing. So it's kind of cool. We use this one. It's got rain falling on a guy because there's a roof leak. Now, we mentioned licensed and insured, free inspection, filing an insurance claim for them, and the fact that this company is bonded, insured, and authorized by almost every insurance company. And then what do you take away in red at the bottom? Roof repairs. Easy enough, and this is a good one. It works really well for us. You're welcome to reuse this in your own way. Here's another roofing one, commercial and residential. And on this one, we're listing out all the various services that the roofing company does. But what do we do twice? Free estimates, free inspection. Phone number, very clear. That's our tracking phone number in this case. Piece of cake. What's our picture of? Roof and the gables, right? Another roofing one. Same idea. You got a guy climbing on a house doing the work. Free estimates. Satisfaction guaranteed. Family owned and operated. Free estimates again. The Better Business Bureau logo. Visa and MasterCard. Now, you can only use those if you work with Visa and MasterCard. Otherwise, you're not allowed to use those. Your client in that case. So then we list out different services the business does. What do we say at the very top? Quality work and affordable pricing. We're marrying good work with cheap. Plumbing. This one, for some reason, pulls. I can't speak to why. Just the results have worked. Licensed plumbing is a key phrase in here. Save you time and money. 100% guaranteed. All right. Plumbers for less, another phrase. I like this one a lot. This is down in Orlando. Got leaks? It's a takeoff on that whole got milk thing, right? We can help. It's got some plumbing tools and the call to action with the tracking phone number. Don't ask me, but these text ads pull. When you test them, you'll see the same thing. This is from the Florida Panhandle. It works pretty well. It's keyword rich. Why? Because a lot of these shoppers are searching for, I just need to find a compressor, or I need to get my coil cleaned. You know what? Then they're going to find this ad. They're going to make the call thinking they're just going to get that. And then the company will decide whether they need a repair or installation, or, the good or the bad news. But the beauty of this ad is keyword rich, and it focuses on their name with the phone number in the geographic area. So piece of cake on that one. I think I got another text ad. Yeah, BK Attorney. This is also in Florida. File bankruptcy today. Okay, in the subject line, stop creditor harassment. Okay, so avoid the phone calls. Stop all the negative things that are happening. Get it done now. It's only $421. Okay? And then you see how it breaks down in the actual ad itself. Let's see. We'll move on. Measuring results. This is key. Measuring results is everything. Here's a client. It's an automotive client in Atlanta. This was a weekly call report. This has 137 calls in it. These were Craigslist and Backpage, and 137 calls for the week. Now, we charge our clients weekly. You may prefer to do it monthly. I'll let you decide, but if your call volume gets up there, you may realize that you don't want to have the client on the hook for you for that much money. Because look at this. In a month, we did 371 calls. Not good if the guy decided not to pay me and we worked 3 extra weeks for him and we didn't get paid. Now, in this case, we had this client on weekly payment with check. Service clients like contractors, we typically do with credit cards. Okay? So that's the reporting and kind of why. Um, I told you it was the key to getting paid, but it validates that you're doing a good job. When you provide these regular and detailed reports, unlike a ranking report in SEO or a social media type report, this whole report is about ROI. All kind of date and time information about the call, how long the call was, right? If it's over 25 seconds, you get billed. Under that, you don't get billed. Or you only show calls over a certain amount. You can do that in the ACT reporting. You can show the number that originated the call and which ad it came into, right? It also allows you to make recordings available. With the reporting, we like to send the text report, the simple text of what happened, with select recordings so they know they're getting value. And they know, wow, those calls came from Brian? That's great. It's that easy. Now, invoicing, once again, invoicing is the most important thing. It's getting paid. It's why we're all here. Simple PDF invoice with attached details. That works. Ideally, you're getting paid via credit card on file. You could use PayPal, and if you have a high enough dollar client, you could accept checks if you wish. Now, all invoices should be net 15 or less. That is the terms on which you want to be paid. If it's somebody using credit card, you're going to bill them right away. I'm telling you, it's happened to all of us. It's happened to me. In case it hasn't happened to you, let me say it again. You do not want to be stiff for all your hard work. Okay. So a couple takeaways on what not to do. We've told you what to do and how to do it. But what should you avoid? What should we not do? All right. This ad is horrible. Why? All right, he's got his name. We know it's a plumbing company in the headline. This is in Tallahassee. We can service all your plumbing needs, no job too small or big. So he's got the word plumbing in the text. He's missing some key elements, right? He's missing the keywords that other people searching for a plumber might use. Emergency plumber, psychological triggers, all those kinds of things. Short is good. I love short, but short needs to have a little bit more information to make sure this ad comes up when somebody's doing a search. Okay? I would include geographic areas and some of the service offerings just so the ad comes up all the time. Not the end of the world, but it's important that you don't make this mistake. Another one, same thing. We're picking on Tallahassee today. No psychological triggers, no listing out geographical areas. Now, while he or she does have painting, home repairs, including plumbing and electrical, this handyman, he should have spelled out in greater detail more of the services that he does so that the keywords and the geography work together to make your ad visible to that shopper. Easy enough to fix, but I want to show you some bad ones. Some other mistakes. I don't want you to post any single ad more than twice a day, right? I don't want you to spam multiple categories or that ad. And if you don't use tracking numbers, I've done this myself. I'm like, this is great. I'm just going to do this. This is before I was doing a pay-per-call model. If in a pay-per-call model, you have to use tracking numbers with each ad. And for those of you rocket scientists out there, you should use more than Craigslist. Craigslist is good. I admit it. It's very, very good for driving calls. But you don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to be visible on multiple sites. There's no harm done in running similar but slightly different ads on Backpage or Kijiji, right? The other mistake that everybody makes, if I had to guess, 98% of the people that hear this or are already doing this method make this mistake. They don't split test their graphical ads versus text ads. Disaster. And the last one, this happens more often than you would think, but some people invoice roughly once every month instead of every week or 2 weeks, and these are the people that often get stiff. The client changes their mind because in this model, as we talk about in the pricing section, we actually use a no upfront cost. We get their billing information and then we bill them weekly based on results. So if you were following that model and you waited a month, it's very easy to see how you could get burned. So that is the implementation or fulfillment section. We're going to roll into outsourcing, where Sid, Michael, and Valerie will cover in literally 5 or 6 slides. We're going to give you both of our outsourcing solutions, our pricing, how you can work with them, and even how you can have them do your ads for you. Yes, they'll do all the work. They do all of ours, so they already have great ads in every niche that work. Pricing. Pricing is a good one. This is me, and we go over different pricing methodologies and models here. Sales methods. Sid Michael does the sales method presentation along with Valerie, and in Module 6, the common objections and negotiations. So that's what's coming up. I'm excited. At this point, you're starting to get the gist. You've seen some real-world examples. If you can, listen to the recording with one of our students, Frank, and you'll see some other examples throughout the whole thing. This is all about proving it, putting it up, and proving the results, and we do that throughout the whole course with examples. So make sure you check those out. I think you'll really enjoy it. So let us see. We're going to end this recording, and I will see you in the next module.